Hey guys, Jonathan here. You're listening to Demon Dayz, an actual play podcast with a focus on fiends and the friends who play them. I hope the day sees you safe, healthy, and in good spirits. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor Arknight, whose maps, props, and minis bring our game to life. And I want to draw your attention to KiloWhat and her awesome art for our show. Seriously, go check it out. Also want to give a big shout out to Michaela Garrison, who edits our program and who has to deal with all of Andrew's chewing. Heart emoji, fire emoji. In standing in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, we'd like to highlight an Indiegogo campaign for a documentary from B. Dave Walters called Dear America from a Black Guy. You can find all of that over on his Twitter, at B. Dave Walters, and we'll have a link in the show notes so you can go contribute to the campaign. To all our listeners, thank you so much for joining our tabletop adventure and having fun with us. We love you all. Now, let's get to today's episode.
Friends, fiends! I have more story for you, but first I need to ask, what fresh hell is this? Alcoholic bean water? I'm extremely skeptical, but I'll give it a try because I like you. Sort of. Anyway, when I was last here, I told you all about the tiefling finding themselves in a monastery library doing research on the usurper's fall. We begin right there, as we dive right back into these Demon Dayz.
And yeah, so then for the next, I would say, hour or so, you guys poke around the books that you do have. And Feder, some of the stuff you're catching from this, some of it's all the standard stuff. The prevailing history is that it was a conclave of dragons that decided to make the Usurper's Fall their base of operations. Mm-hmm. And through falling out, stuff that you've heard before, the ones that do stand out, though, are like, there's a version that has Tiamat is the one who is, in the Usurper's Fall. That one is not as there's no sources. And the one that maybe stands out to you more is that it was used as more of a nexus point for infernal travel. That one also doesn't have any sources behind it, but you see hints of it throughout any of the books, and it strikes you as interesting. There seems to be some truth to the rumor, and it seems a little bit more likely, but this is just a raging debate about what the history is. But the fact that there is infernal touching on that mountain would track with what you guys have been seeing in the reports and things like that. That, okay, maybe there is something to that maybe there's some good real estate going on for infernal happenings over there.
Cool. What about on the geographic side of it? Is there tunnels below, passages through? Like, if we're coming at it from the north and we have to cross through that mountain range, is there, I'm trying to get any sort of advantage that we can to...
Any shortcuts?
Shortcuts, to try to get out of this caravan.
I was going to say, before you answer that, I'm going to piggyback on that. I'm looking for, in the geography as well, any natural choke points or places we could stage an ambush. Any places that would, suit itself for that, like high ground versus low ground, or funnel, dropping things down to single file where they'd have to bunch themselves up, that type of thing.
Right. Yes, so there are. So you have the map open for you guys, so I'll try to describe this. There are essentially three main mountains in the Usurper's Fall. Mm-hmm. There's the central mountain spire, and there's a western and an eastern one. And in the books, both Feder, yours is a little bit more specific on details, Yusuf, yours is a little bit more general, is that there were different entrance points on each of the mountains. The main central mountain has a northern entrance that's near that lagoon area that's in front there. That's more of a receiving end, so it's a big entrance. There's not really a choke point there. It's like there's a lot of activity that would happen there. Based off of what the geography looks like, the way the maps are all drawn out, and the structure of it, you get a sense of you wouldn't have a good ambush here. There's not a good place to block things out. There'd be more of that on the west mountain as well as the east, that there are smaller, more hidden entrances that you can get in, a little more smuggler based. And the southern entrance is just difficult to get through those southern waters, and that one's more of an abandoned thing, even though it's also just as big. So The central place doesn't seem to be the best option for sneaking in,
Okay.
blocking people off, or intercepting. But if you want to get in through there, it seems like there's plenty. There's a surprising amount. And Feder, you specifically, there's more tunnels beneath this mountain in particular. On Valdarian in general, just from history, your basic history stat level, you know that every mountain's going to have passages. You dig far enough down, you're going to get the Underdark. But the Usurper's Fall in particular has a lot.
I'm just curious, geography-wise, do we know what this... I don't even know if it's on the map on purpose, but just left of the lagoon, like in those 4 squares where the Casper the Ghost's head is when he's flying to the west. What is all that? Is that trees? Like, is that like bog area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trees, dead trees. In both your books, that the land around there hasn't produced anything viable vegetation-wise,
Okay.
tree-wise. So, which would give credence, Feder, to the section of the book you're reading where there's more infernal involvement, because
Right.
with that sort of thing, a lot of land just dies.
Sure.
You know, it is what it is. Devils and demons. Oh well, you lose a little bit of grass and trees. So what? You know, this is the material plane. Who cares?
If I kind of look at the Verge Day report and track the theoretical path of like the direction where the caravan was heading versus the 3 peaks, what information can I collate between those two? Like, where do they seem to be heading?
Based off the reports and just your general investigation, you get a sense that it's starting to head toward the middle, the central mountain. Like, it's going to try and port through, like, get some of those materials on a boat. They're going to try to get to that centralized mountain.
Okay.
So it seems like they're taking a very standard route to it, which suggests, from the report, it suggests a confidence that they will be undisturbed.
Okay. I will share all of those knowledges with the gang and just be like, well, Yusuf, if they're going... it seems like we could circumnavigate the caravan and try to take the western passes through the mountains and get to the fall first. But, if we head east and try to catch these folks, maybe travel, skip a night's sleep or something, and just try to double time it, we might catch them before they hit that big central entrance.
If that's even where they're going. If they're going to another hidden one, if they already have a route planned out and it involves some smaller passage that we don't know about, we might just miss them altogether. It's a tough call.
Yeah, just collating the reports and the maps and things that we have here, it seems like a pretty, like they're taking it straight up the middle, which, if it's that important and there's no threat theoretically on the island, why not?
Right.
Want to take the main highway.
Yeah, straightest shot. Is Usurper's Fall just the mountain, or is there a keep there?
There is a sort of inner keep.
Like inside the mountain?
Yeah, it kind of reminds you of the Greece Norval up top. Similarly, like, there's a structure within the mountain, built into the mountain. That part remains consistent through the books you're reading. Right. That there is structure inside, and it's not just hewn out dwarven halls of that are just quickly excavated. It's more like this was constructed for whoever actually had the place. And there's functionality to it.
Great.
And then, John, important dates for the fall, like celebrated days, day that the dragons founded, day that the dragons fell, anything that would kind of, jump out to me.
Apart from, you kind of have to wade through a few inconsistencies here and there, like certain things that don't line up, but the general gist is that around 300 or so years back, roughly around the turn of a year, that there was some shift in either something happened at the mountain, or that's kind of where the information seems to center around.
Right.
But the margin you're noticing is a little on the wide side.
Okay. The question behind the question, obviously, like nothing in the next month that would jump out that says,
Right, nothing anniversary-wise.
Right. Except
for the turn of the year thing, which that seems to come up often for this sort of stuff.
Like Waken first, everything explodes.
Right.
Cool, got it. Well, it just says year's end, so we've got a couple months if that's the time schedule they're on. Who knows? This could be the really early days of this, theoretically.
They said that they were planning on... Looks like they're traveling with machinery. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, the report mentioned several, large pieces of machinery that they're traveling. Sounds like we already know what that is. Know what I mean?
John, from what we saw in the Shadowlands at the tower and in Greece Norval, would a small caravan, one of this size, be able to haul all the pieces that were needed to do what was done?
Based on the size, it would probably take 3 caravans of that small size. You get the sense that they've split different caravans up with different pieces. Just from your experience with the previous place, the Shadowlands, the stuff you've collected and collated even now, nothing is ever just wholly brought over to a place. Nothing is ever delivered wholesale. You've got, here's some pieces here. Here's some pieces here. This vital piece might be coming like way before 2, crux pieces. Things like that. You're never going to get just the one caravan that's got the, tiefling destroying device or,
So this could be either the first or the last shipment. There could already be stuff in the mountain.
Right.
Either way, we fuck it up and throw it in the swamp. It's gonna set them back,
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
That's a tactic for this sort of thing, and it's an infertile tactic with cultists especially, is disseminate and stagger, and it's much harder to completely destroy an operation.
Yeah, well, with Shinzoban and your magic donkey, Just kidding, man. Lighten up, fuck. Today sucks. It's weird. Everything's weird and it sucks. But this is something to do.
It doesn't even look like a donkey. It's an elk.
I know, come on. Just fucking... I'm just taking the piss. Shit.
If you do that on Yusuf.
Don't do that. It's a library.
No, my God.
God.
Look, water sports are a thing. Some people are into them. It's just clear communication about boundaries.
I am not.
That's fair.
Not a thing.
I mean, it definitely is a thing.
You literally can't pay me to do it.
Right, well, yeah. Anyway, Dayz, how are you feeling? How's your book reading going? I mean, it seems like we have something to do that we could do pretty soon.
How's it going, John?
Yeah, I was just gonna jump over and tell you what you got. There's one page that exists in the chapter that you're kind of zeroing in on about deities that came in to their own, and right around the Raven Queen section, there's a little bit on just a couple different origins, and nothing is consistent. But when it starts getting to more of her activity, those pages are what is missing. This was focused. Any information that someone could get on the Raven Queen's activity has mostly been taken out.
I think I know by who. Well, this book is fucking useless because somebody decided to ruin it.
Wait, what did I do?
Not you. Although you ruin a lot of things.
You said Yusuf.
No, I said useless.
Oh, useless.
I mean, you are useless too, but...
Really? Okay.
I say that with, just a little bit of a smirk and a twinkle in my eye.
See, there's a difference, I think, fundamentally between taking the piss, like the donkey thing, and then, being just, weirdly mean. You know what I mean? I just want to point that out. I said nothing about your character. And, that's just fucking mean.
You both of you see Yusuf as he's reading the book, just 2 middle fingers are holding on to the back of the book to give you a nice little view as he covers his face with it.
I just poke him right in the belly. Right in the belly.
Aww.
Just poke him right in the belly.
Mr. Mephistopheles is a sad boy.
Stop it. Go away.
No.
Do you want some honey, Pooh Bear?
I'm wearing pants.
Echoes through the library.
Well, they're shorts.
Suddenly you hear a shh, but from 10 feet up.
It's okay, Pooh Bear. We'll get you some honey, and then I give him a little kiss on the cheek.
Right, so, are you happy with that? Do you want to try to get some more answers out of this guy before we get out of here?
Yes, I do think a conversation with him is in order, for sure.
You want to do that all in your lonesome, or do you want to all go together?
If you two would like to accompany me, that'd be fine. It's not anything that I feel like needs to be private.
Okay. Sure, so we're gonna have to climb this thing? Where's Reese? Where's the library? How do we get up to this dickhead?
From what you guys remember, the entrance to his area is from the outside. Nothing. You can't access anything other than the library from this section.
Right, we have to climb the outside of the tower, yeah? Theoretically?
You remember correctly.
Well, another climb then?
I mean,
I guess more climbing.
John, how tall is it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, as you guys get out and you scope it up above, that first floor you guys were in, that library, that section was about 7 floors. So then you've got a ninth, about nine floors up, roughly. And that final one is where you see the kind of that threshold doorway that leads into where Chaliaton was standing earlier. And through all the way up there, you see all those, there's various footfalls, but these ones seem to be a little bit more on the difficult side. Some are outcropping, some are inward for your feet, some are varied, but this one is a little bit more of a dexterous situation.
This is more like rock climbing.
Right. This is more like rock climbing, and the inside the library is more like a Cirque du Soleil.
So this is more athletics than acrobatics.
Yeah.
I'm eyeing this potion of fire giant strength, just because my athletics is a -1.
You guys do see outside, though, before you go too further, that Reese is standing out there just eyeing you guys, like, waiting.
Reese, we need to get up to the Lion Chief. Is that going to be a problem?
Takes him a second to get the jab. Oh, yes. I can see if he's available, and we'll see you. Is there anything I can tell him so this isn't just a high burst in?
Well, question. Before we do all that, do we want to get rid of this piece of wood?
I mean, sure. Taz, I don't know. These both kind of concern you.
Well, if he's willing to come down.
No, I think he's going to be a little asshole and make us come up. I think he came down because it was Lesa.
The attendant looks left and to the right. Feder, you notice this. Looks left to the right and leans forward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And says no more. He confirms for you, but then just like, boom, back to stoic face.
Hold on, what do I want to say?
The attendant gets closer to you, the three of you, though. He looks around again. Who specifically wants to talk? All of you together, or is there something specific? Because I can give you someone, a birdie. A birdie can give you information about where he might be, routine-wise, so you can talk to him. You know, birds say things sometimes.
They do. A fellow birdie would like to talk to their fellow birdie.
What do you get out of it?
What I get out of it is in trouble if it comes back to me. But you guys see him, apart from he's a little at loss. Apart from some presentational things, if you guys wanted to wreck shit, you would have wrecked shit. So this must be important. I mean, I've seen reports. They're happening and suddenly you guys arrive and this stuff happens. So if you need to talk to him, like, I can tell you where to be. Send it. If there's a specific message, I can send it. But in the immediate, he's kind of holed up.
I'm gonna do an insight check, just with an ear for deceit, and just see what this fucking guy's deal is. It's a 16.
You get the sense that it's not so much trying to betray anything, but he is conflicted on what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What he perceives to have happened with Lesa, and you get the sense that he was able to find out the stuff that, like, some of the stuff that was kept,
Sure.
and that maybe it's not as okay with him.
Right. Okay.
So it's more of a helpful thing, but guarded, a little bit more secretive.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the two, you're starting to get now that he's a little bit more open than maybe Rook.
Okay.
Rook is a little bit more by the book.
John, did I get the sense that I like that liar in chief there was aware of like the similarities deity wise with us, or I don't remember exactly.
How do you mean?
So, because like he had the mark, like a raven mark, right?
Right.
I don't remember if he was entirely eyeing me because he might have like been aware of the fact that I have one as well.
Oh, you're trying to think it.
Or was it just me that noticed it?
You that noticed it.
Okay.
Yeah. If anything, if from what you saw of him looking at you earlier, it could have just been that he sensed something. All three of you, just from your brief experience with Charlton, you get the sense that he had a little bit more insight to him. So he may have guessed, been able to like perceive like, hey, there's something there. You more specifically noticed the thing, and you guys don't necessarily think that Reese knows about this.
Yeah.
The Raven thing so much.
Yeah. Okay, that changes what I was gonna say then. Never mind. I take my journal out and I like flip to a blank page and I draw a little raven symbol on it. And then I rip out the page, fold it over, hand it to Reese, and I'll say, tell him that the tieflings gave this to you and they're wishing to speak with him.
Okay, I will. And he starts his climb up there with the note. At around this time, now you guys have been out a little bit, you do see some commotion near the quay as some rowboats, or a rowboat, is coming back to the actual monastery. You can't really tell immediately who it is. I would say maybe Feder, you probably could. It looks like Drago is coming back with Vanessa. They're overseeing some supply stuff. You can kind of make out her hair and some of her posture from the distance that you guys are. I mean, you'd recognize your father.
Well, speak of the devil, who's got the knife? Who's holding onto that scarab knife?
I mean, the only knife that I have is that ornate.
I mean, knives are very much my thing, but
You're talking about the glass one that she made?
yeah, the ritual knife that we need to charge up before we try to open or shut this hole.
I think it might be me. I think Lisa might have given it to me.
Yeah, I think she has it. I think Taz has it because she was the one that was working with the blood magic stuff.
With Vanessa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll write this down so that way I remember it too. Taslin has knife.
Once we kind of really understand what this does, I mean, knives are kind of my thing. You know, I could do something with that, I think, quicker, more efficient, unless we think it's only good for ritual stuff. But just to toss that out there.
Yeah, Taslin, you pull out the knife, and
Yeah.
you can even hand it to Feder if you want to confirm, but it doesn't seem very, apart from what he just said, ritualistic, it doesn't seem sturdy enough to be
A combat weapon?
wholly combative.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll actually give it to Feder, saying like, here, you're really good with pricks.
I mean, I am.
Especially your own. Like, you should hold on to this.
I mean, if it's only good for ritual stuff, then you can keep the knife. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with it. The magic's more your bag anyway, but...
Well, until we know. I mean, it's still a perfectly good knife as well.
Yeah. Well, we want to take this thing out back and...
Yeah, I was just going to ask, are you guys staying there with the thing, waiting for Drago and Vanessa to come to you, or are you going to go to them just to see? Because they're taking their time
Yeah.
with whatever they're doing. It sounds like some of their journey back is for supplies, not necessarily immediately to reconvene with you guys. So, yeah, what are you guys doing?
My bad puns are like really off, you guys. Like, I'm not with it. My bad puns. I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, yeah, that one was really bad.
It's been a minute.
Out of practice of hearing them.
I mean, I'm happy to go like on the like north side of the sclera, kind of out of the purview of, you know, a lot of the buildings. Try something there. Maybe behind the halls of enlightenment toward the wall. Do we get a sense, John, that there's a better place to kind of do things?
Well, I mean, they said, like, they told us that we could do it next to the tower. That way, if they needed to help out, right?
Yeah.
You get the sense that from just looking at your cursory walk around Two Feder, that the open area that leads to the Scalera Tower is very open, very big and wide for anything that could come through a portal, if that's the case. And the structure of the Scalera, and Yusuf can probably even confirm just by looking at the stonework, that thing is the sturdiest thing on this island compared to the more constructed huts and buildings that all seem a little bit more, built from them there. The Scalera seems like a fixture of that part of the land.
Well, I'll just do some rogue shit and triple move my way to Vanessa and my dad and be like, hey, can we borrow her for a minute? We're going to do the thing with the fucking log and get that off the to-do list. Is that okay?
Well, they're on the south side, aren't they?
Yeah, they're down here.
Yeah, they're at the quay.
I'm going to run down, grab them, and then go zip and then zip back.
Yeah.
So I think I can probably just move faster than everybody else.
Yeah. that rogue shit. Drago nods. Yes, do what you need. We're only here for supplies, and Vanessa wanted to explore the place a little bit and get a sense of the place. So.
Right on. And Dad, you guys on a 4-day cycle? I mean, we'll catch back up in a little bit and tell you what's going on. But you guys recharging?
Yes, but we also need to talk a little bit later when you have time.
Sure.
We might be making some adjustments to our plans, just based off of everything. But I want to convene with you later. But right now we got a supply up.
Okay.
And yeah, he does his thing, and Vanessa nods like, "Oh yes, yeah, let's do this." I've not been counting the hours till we could do this.
Too excited about this shit, Vanessa. Too excited.
Well, I mean, in a flying ship, just resting and relaxing, I get a little restless.
Sure. Now, the fully charged skill gem, which seems to be kind of the missing piece here. Are we trying to open this thing up before we close it? What do you think? Are we trying to just get rid of it?
Well, she thinks for a moment. If I'm reading this right, the going idea is that somehow you guys have something to do with, like, your physiology, your blood has something to do with this, right? Something along those lines. The only thing that we don't know from this, just from looking at this, is it yours, like Feder, Yusuf, and Tazlan, is it your guys' blood specifically, or is it just infernal? And
Did she remember my name?
she did.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah, she rolled a memory check and it worked. The DM also did one too, and it turned out nice. And yeah, she's like, and then the other question is how much is needed? Like, that's what we don't know. So if you'll indulge me, I was thinking what we could do is one of you guys take the Skirl gemstone that I carved for you and attempt to do something to that portal. See if it opens, closes, or, something. And then I would say we would need someone else who isn't you guys specifically. Should I get Cadence to give some blood?
Don't worry about Cadence. We've got some, I keep, dark side shit, a vial of tiefling blood from the family on me for my own purposes, so.
Yeah, she doesn't know. She doesn't get what transpired on the deck was to get her blood, but she was just looking for controls. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then if you have something we can use, cool. We can probably expect if it's not a lot, that not much might happen, but it's something. It's something. And then I'll try myself. Because I'm human, and it could be nothing. Because if I can't do anything, and I have the ability to keep our ship afloat, then that also is more proof.
I mean, order of operations seems like, because we know that our blood has been able to close these portals, right? Like, with a gemstone, that's what Lisa used to do with the fucking staff. I mean, the staff's off with her, which is unhelpful, but I feel like we at least know that our blood in conjunction with this thing will shut it. So maybe Vanessa tries to open it. We use this random tiefling blood sample I have to try to open it. If that doesn't work, we try one of us to open it, and then one of us to close it.
Yeah.
Or just to, Taz is there, or Yusuf, your connections to your oath or whatever, is there a way to consecrate or banish extraplanar shenanigans? I don't know. This isn't really my area of expertise, but...
Well, there is a way to banish extraplanar things. There is a spell out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you know it?
Well...
could you, look in the library and see if there's a thing? I don't know. I know these are, fucking spirit energy people, not really magicians, but maybe.
I can bring something here, but I can't get rid of it.
Vanessa did have a large collection of magical tomes I can look through. Mm-hmm. See if there might be anything there.
Right.
Yeah, she brightens and points to her. At first you think she's just pointing to her backside, but it's actually there's a couple of different books just chained back there to her belt. Like, she keeps pointing, not realizing that she's not communicating it properly. Oh, sorry. My books, not my ass. Books. I got some stuff you can look through if you need. I personally don't know anything about removing things from the plane or anything like that, but I'm sure there's something in here. I keep a lot of reading material with me. If you want.
Sure, anything to help.
She unhooks it. There.
It's always good to give something a try, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so order of operations. What do we think? Or do we just try to close it or banish it and not worry about the opening part? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just trying to fucking method this thing out.
I feel like not opening a portal to the hells is probably the best idea. If we just destroy the wood, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, we experiment less in the end. You know what I mean? Like safety, schmafety.
Right. My only concern would be that if there's something important that you need to know about these things that are causing you guys problems and following you,
Yeah.
it might be worth seeing what the extent is.
This one specifically, the question we don't really still know is like, is it the same entity sending these things, or is it an organization sending different portals from different places? You know what I mean? Like, if it's somebody's fucking mage's tower on the other side, I'd love to know. But that's just me. I mean, it wasn't before, so being able to look through another one at least gives us more information. If it's the same miasma that Taz saw last time, then Bob's your uncle. I don't know. I get your concerns, Yusuf. I'm just like, we either try to get the most we can out of this, or we just fucking light it on fire and get the fuck out of here. I mean, I could honestly go either way at this point.
I mean, I understand the importance of investigating it, and you know what? No, if we were going to do it, this would probably be the place to do it. So yeah, let's open a portal. He pulls out his sword. Everybody feels warm and glowy. He's like, I'm ready.
Right, so Vanessa first, then the blood sample we have, then one of us. Is that the way we want to do this?
Sure, yes, yeah. The order doesn't matter specifically. It's just getting the information. Probably the easiest would be me.
All right, well, I'm just going to call up the tower. Oi, we're going to do the thing. So fucking be whatevered.
Feder, you notice a hand pop out of the doorway with a thumbs up, just like...
Yusuf grabs a hold of one of the beads on his necklace, and he kind of squeezes it for a second, mumbles something, and Taz and Johnny, you both feel pretty good about our choices. Well, actually, no, he's going to be doing it as we start the thing. Oh, actually, no, I lied. I'm not doing it. It's only up to a minute. I thought it was 10 minutes. I'm going to save it.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah.
All right.
So we are not infused
Vanessa-
with your warmth.
I mean, a little bit. Because I've got the sword out.
A tiny bit of warmth.
He's got his sword out, so
Okay.
we feel all warm.
He's got his
Yeah.
big sword.
At least if you're within...
It's a two-hander, definitely.
If you're within 10 feet of me, you feel it.
Okay. Yep, Johnny's nailed it. Two-handed. Definitely a lot of pricking.
All right, Vanessa, you want to give it a go?
Sure.
And I'm gonna, it's like daggers, like at the ready, like just eyeing this thing, like ready to pounce on anything that comes out the other side.
Sure. And she latches another satchel from her from her belt, and sets it down. First opens it so you can see it. Here's a few potions I was able to scrounge up. They're healing potions in case the tax on our bodies is a bit much. I know, Yusuf, you've done some healing before, so this might help. So just keep it in mind. There's a few different potions in there. So I'm setting them down here in case I fall.
Fantastic. Well, what kind are in there?
You've got about 4 superiors.
Ooh!
Yeah. So they're...
All right, Vanessa, let's see what you got.
All right. So she walks up to the plank and kind of loosens her arms a bit, pulls out her a blade to cut with, and she's just like, okay, whew. Tries to get focused, and you see her cut to the hand in a quick movement, places her hand in the direction of the board, and starts to chant, but it's not specific. Hearing it now, you guys get the sense, Tazlin, maybe more so you, that it's not so much what's being said, is that it's channeling and it's focusing. And let's see, she goes, and with a bit of a burst, you don't hear anything, she jolts, and the board pushes back maybe about 5 feet, but no effect happens. But you see just out of various areas like eyes, nose, just a burst of blood, and she just falls to one knee.
Oh, Jesus.
She's not unconscious, but you notice there was like a bit of a toll.
Like an anime schoolboy.
I think, yeah. She immediately goes pale, like as most of her health has been sapped, but not all of it.
No, boy.
So she's on the ground in a bit of a daze.
Jesus. Yusuf, you want to give one of those potions?
Yeah, you wanna pick me up?
Yeah, that would be great. I guess no humans.
Fuck me.
She takes it and sets back and just like, oh.
She gets back 34 points.
Okay, good. Roughly close to what she lost.
Right.
And Feder, you quick notice the board, even though nothing happened and it pushed, that there is a glow, a light glow along the seam, as if
Okay.
agitated the area, but you get the sense that something of hers wasn't enough. And she scrambles around too. She's trying like, I need a sec, I'm gonna write this down too. She's in scientific method mind already.
But we've got this other blood in our knife. So how much do you think? I mean, it took plenty from you. I mean, how do you all? I mean, I've got 2 vials of this stuff. Do you want to put a whole vial on, see what happens? It seemed like it took quite a price out of Vanessa here.
Yeah. And my guess is it could be me. It could be human.
Right.
So that's what I'm guessing. Like, that's the information I'm taking from this, is it could be just me, that I don't have enough blood in the world to give this thing.
Sure.
Or the right kind, maybe. Yeah, maybe we try the one you have, the vial. Might not do anything if there's not a lot.
Yeah, well, let's start with 1, see with 2. I mean, I'd much rather keep 1. Stuff's hard to come by, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Unless you're me, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, Taz, do you want to do the honors, or?
Sure.
And I'll hand her the one of the vial of Cadence's blood.
Yeah. Make sure that you're not cut when you use the vial. Mm-hmm. So that way you're not giving of yourself. Just make sure free of scratches and hold it as best you can. And focus and just find some focus type of chant.
I'll open the vial and I'll dip the dagger into it, very tip of it. Mm-hmm. And focus on turn of the board, kind of like hold the dagger in front of me, and I'll focus on like the intent of opening the portal, trying to get it, like communicating with it, the blood calling to the portal and stuff like that. And in Infernal, let me make sure, I'm pretty sure I remember, yes. In Infernal, I'm gonna chant, Cadence sucks.
Nice. It's the perfect focus you need, yeah. So you approach it, and as you start chanting that and get the bloodied blade nearby, you feel like you're stabbing into something, and the area around where the scar is heats, glows bright, and starts to open a little bit, but almost immediately snaps shut and shatters the vial, and it's like the blood wasn't even there. Like, it's so evaporated out that it's gone. So like, it did more, but there wasn't nearly enough of it.
Okay, well, it turns out we're not as special as we thought we might be.
Well,
Maybe
we are. Like, it might not just be tiefling blood.
Yeah. I suppose there's only one way to find out, Yusuf.
Yusuf walks over, holds out his hand.
Yep, you want the knife? Yeah? Alright.
Yeah, get the knife and you go ahead and do it. And for the sake of this, Yusuf, when you do, you cut your hand, and I need you to roll all the hit dice you have up to your level and subtract that from your HP.
6. Oh. I take 32 points of damage.
Oh, there could have been a better way to do this.
Yusuf, as soon as you get up there, and
I'm realizing we should have just cut ourselves with a regular dagger and then all mixed it into a vial and then dipped like I did. That would have been so much easier. But
It seems like the price is the price.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, sure, I might have taken an equal measure from all of us, but, well, let's see what happens.
That's true. Yeah, it could have been, hang on. He pops one of the things out of healing potion and drinks one.
well, hold on a second before you do that, because as part of the ritual, you cut yourself, and
Oh, right.
you move forward with the knife to stab in, and almost immediately as you get to that point close enough to the scar, it's almost immediate, like a swift, like a vacuum suck out of essence or health from you. Just, you feel the blood just shoot out, like, I've given enough blood and taken plasma, just, it's like, it through the veins, just, it pulls out, and it feels forceful, and it hurts. And everyone, the rest of you guys, suddenly your head just kind of starts to throb. and it starts kind of small in the back as he's pushing forward, and it starts to get heavier. The headache starts to get a bit bigger, and the scar starts to glow, and you start to hear a bit of a shrill screeching sound as he's pushing forward, and it's pulling the blood out, and almost as soon as you hear it, there's a tear. The portal opens with a ghastly, echoey, squelching sound. Not as wide as what you saw on the ship, just enough to maybe a person to leap through if they needed to, but you don't get much time to dwell on that and look, because it just suddenly closes with a reverse of that horrible, crunchy, squelchy sound. The steam goes back as if it were weird air.
Oh shit, that was quick. Yusuf, you okay?
Yep. Oh.
I would say you got about maybe
He
6
popped
seconds.
his potion and he drank it, just so
Right.
people who are not on video know what you just did.
He pops the potion.
Right, so John, at about 6 seconds.
About 6 seconds worth
Right.
of a passable portal, but then it just slams shut.
And the portal, if I was keeping an eye on it, opaque? Or could we get a sense of what was on the other side? Like,
Yeah, did we see anything through it?
It was quick, but Feder, you saw dark, expansive, kind of like dark red. Like there was horizon, but wrong. So reds and yellow, like as if there were a large space beyond it. Mm-hmm. But it was really quick.
right,
But that's the vibe you got, is like, oh, there is a lot of space right here.
right. Taz, did you, does that sound like, no, I'll explain what I saw, like kind of a roiling horizon, but like a roiling mass of like red?
Oh goodness, the last time I sent my bird through it was like way back in the beginning.
4 days ago. No, just kidding.
I know, 4 days ago, more like a year ago.
D&D time.
I remember, this is not Teslin talking. John, remind me. I do remember like seeing a bunch of like creatures crawling over each other trying to get to the portal, but I don't remember like hills and stuff.
I remember that the scenery, the sky box, as it were. I think I was a bit vague on that, but it's about the same.
Okay.
What he says tracks. That the thing that was the roiling, like the bodies over each other, that was the extra element where you were.
Okay.
But all he got a chance to see where he was sitting was just, if you had to guess, sky?
Well, it looked like it might have been the same place, area, plane.
Right on. Well, interesting, and gave us about 6 seconds worth of open time if we ever needed to go through for some reason. So that's good to know.
Well, that was just Yusuf. I wonder.
If all of us did it,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Because I feel like they definitely did do something to our blood. We have a connection to this plane now.
Well, on top of that, I don't know if we can recreate it because we're missing one now.
There's only 3 of us. Right.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. Vanessa, any other thoughts, experiments? I feel like we're in a pretty good spot to get rid of this fucking thing.
Yeah. No, the only thing I would be curious about is, well, first, what did you see anything, Feder?
My guess is it was a little foggy, but it looked like the roiling miasma of the abyss, but I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Would someone else be opposed to trying their hand?
I'll try. That's fine with me.
Well, I mean, at this point,
I do wonder if we combined.
okay, do we all try again? Mm-hmm. And see if multiple people do it, if it magnifies the portal at the time.
I mean, again,
But what are we gonna need to get rid of this thing? You know what I mean? Like, let's not.
do we need to open one?
Yeah, I mean,
I think we were trying to figure out if the residual effect
It's
is...
experimentation.
Yes.
right. I mean, yes, we're experimenting, but we know that in these scars, once we've closed them, we can reopen them with one of these knives. So that's a fucking huge bit of business, and knowing that we all just have to cram through there in a fairly short window is another bit of good business. So I'm just asking these learned minds here if we're good and we can fucking burn this thing or break it somehow or try to dispel it in some manner, because I feel like that might take some effort too, or if there's any other experiments we want to do. I feel like we've learned a lot, but I want to let everyone else chime in.
Me too. I'm also of the mind that we don't need to open a portal here. still.
I would agree that you don't. I would agree with that. The only thing I would push back on is if there's anything different from person to person, and if you know that, because I imagine, based off of what I just heard you say, it could very well be if you pooled yours together, the blood cost, you could cover the blood cost and it would open it, but it might open it until you close it. Whereas this seems more localized and temporary. But I almost wonder is it different for each of you? That would be the only thing I would that's the only thing I would try and do if I were experimenting with this.
Well, I mean,
It looks like there's a cost.
Yusuf pulls another potion out of the bag and he's like, all right, who's up?
I don't know. I probably have the strongest inherent connection to the hells, so do you want to see if I get the fast pass, or?
Boy.
I mean,
All right.
or is it better if me and Taz try together? I mean, those are the two experiments. Which one do we care about more?
I think we should try together.
All right, let's do it.
He pulls out the last potion out of the bag, holds one in each hand.
All right, I'll just hold my hand out to the knife.
I'll put my hand next to his and do a big slash across both of them.
Okay. Yeah, you guys cut and move forward to the spot. Each take your own hit dice up to your level
Awesome.
and roll them.
Oh boy. 34 hit points of my 50.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm just regularly exsanguinated on this show. God damn it.
Just pointing out, still, I don't think it's a good idea.
Cool, great, very helpful. As blood's pouring out of my hand.
What's your number there, Tazlin?
I take 37.
In a row? That's an old joke. That's for the old people.
All 7. Oh, yeah.
That's
I'd gladly take 37 in a row. You know me.
Guys, very soon the Demon Days OnlyFans account. We all need to make some extra cash in the apocalypse.
Covers the hosting charge.
John's got to start though.
I rolled 3 8s out of my hit. I was like, come on, roll low hit die. And no, I rolled 3 8s.
Jesus.
So, the same thing happens as you move forward, both of you guys together. And even as you get close, you can feel that there's some pressure to it. And as you tear in, the same thing happens. The headache starts from the back and starts to throb more so, just because it seems to be a little bit more intense. And the tear glows, a shrill, shrieking, squelching sound as it opens. And for 12 seconds, you can see directly in there.
Oh, I'm looking hard.
Me too.
Yeah, same.
Eye for detail.
And this time you see just a cracked plain of desert and a creature. It looks almost like what you've faced in Trost, that kind of toad-like thing. And it turns almost surprised, and its eyes are it looks at you very confused, and it starts to shriek, and then poof, the thing shuts.
Okay.
I slouch against Feder a little bit. I'm at 13 hit points.
Bottoms up.
Vanessa's off to the side just watching
Yeah.
Taz, drink this.
I'm at 16. I think let's top off and let's destroy this sooner than later. If he saw us, then he might try to reopen this thing.
Taz, 31 back. Feder, drink this.
Yep.
18. Sorry, not as good. 19 points back.
I'll take it.
Oh, wait, sorry. Jesus. 27. Forgot it's plus 8.
Schlorp.
All right, that's 4 potions.
Right, so we hack this thing up, we try to fucking cast something on it? What are we doing? Because I have a feeling they're going to be sending a bunch of folks back this way here if we don't do something quick. Yusuf, you want to hack at it with your magic sword there, or what the fuck do we want to do to get rid of this thing?
I mean, here, hang on. Set it down. Look out.
It's all new to me.
Yusuf puts his hands together and opens his hands out, and he does flaming hands on it, and 12 points of damage.
Yeah, that should be enough. As it starts to incinerate and curl up, and the form that this scar has attached to starts to burn away, you guys hear it, and you're not certain if anyone else does, this painful, imperceptible whine, that whine you hear after an explosion near a soldier, that dee.
It's like our ears ring for a second.
Yeah, Feder, that weirdness you sensed is gone, though.
Yeah, the barometric pressure kind of levels out.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, good experiment, gang. Now what? We go on to talk to King Assfucker?
Well, assuming he got my message.
I'm saying this all very out loud. I don't care who hears me. I really don't.
He'll probably see us.
2 things. 1. This alcoholic bean water rules, and I'm taking it all with me. No, you don't have a say in the matter. 2. Being able to open a sinister portal with blood magic can't bode well for our heroes. We'll just have to wait and see what they do with this new information as they continue on their journey through these demon days.
Abigail, go in the bedroom. Yeah.
It's a caravan of kobolds. You see it now. Do you actually have like props? Oh, he didn't.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, what?
little
I didn't
health
even
potion
ask him.
bottles.
Yeah, I asked you before you sat down. I was like, that's stupid. Oh, nice. Oh. Cool. That's actually really awesome. I'm
Right?
kind of jealous.
They're like $20. You get there's a set of 4.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
And then you lost one.
I just have this image of Yusuf being like Fezzik, climbing up the tower, with you on his back and me like hanging on in the front.
Inconceivable.